Vixen Season 2, Episode 3. Now this episode, they didn't reuse too much of the animation. Like I mentioned in my last review, I was like, I hope they don't use up a minute of animation. They pretty much did. It was like 48 seconds, but I believe the scene where, like the first couple of moments where they actually fought when, Mari like jumped on the ceiling like a grasshopper and then she like scratched him. I believe that was brand new, unless I just missed that when I was watching the first episode. But it was cool. We got a little bit longer version of their fight scene, and I enjoyed that. I like the way they do the guy's fire powers. Like I mentioned, the scene where he jumps down and the flames are like swirling around. I think that looks phenomenal. And then we have the scene where he's like she's jumping all over him and stuff. And the fire, I thought it was cool. The fire doesn't actually come straight out of his palm. It's kind of like he summons it and it's like underneath his arm and he kind of just controls where it goes. It can shoot straight from his hand, like in the last episode when he like torched the guy on fire. And it was kind of simple. It was just like he pointed at the guy and fire just shot out of his hand. But this one, it was kind of like it wasn't on his hand. It was like underneath, so that he could kind of aim it, really where he wanted to. And I was like, that's actually a cool little concept. I think that's a pretty sweet way to do fire powers. It's not just, oh, he just shoots fire from his hands. He kind of has it's a much cooler control of it. Like he was basically flying with it when he lands down in like the little dining area. And excuse me, I thought it was actually a funny scene because he lands down and then he basically sends the fire straight up and just sets the canopy on fire. I was like, he didn't need to do that, but I thought it was funny that he did. And we find out that there's actually a bit of a balance between all the different totems. Like they're kind of meant to be pretty much equal power, but for Mari it's a little different because she has to like get hand to hand with this guy, and he can just shoot fire at her. So he can take damage from her, which he got a couple of hits in. But he, at a distance, that's his game. But he can also fight up close, and she has to only fight up close. So I thought that was interesting. I was like, okay, it was sort of a rock, paper, scissors sort of thing. And I like that idea. And we end up seeing Mari's sister again in this episode. And now she's going to be joining the fight, and she's going to lead them to the water totem, which immediately surprised me. I didn't think they'd be bringing all of them into this. And they may only do, fire and water as the two new ones, but I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, okay, her sister wants to join. We get a little bit more backstory, and her sister actually knows this guy, and he was actually like a warlord, pretty much. And he took out their village, killed their father, and was trying to kill their mother to steal the totem. And that's how she ended up taking off to save Mari, and her sister was still really mad at her for that. She kind of threw that in there at the end. She was like, I guess Mom only thought there was one daughter worth living for. And I was like, she had to throw that in there at the end. But she decides, I'll take you to the water totem, but only if you let me join you in this fight. So she's fairly weakened from what happened in the last season. But I feel like this totem will give her more power. And after they defeat, the main villain, I forgot how they pronounce his name. I think it's like Esifu or something like that. I'm assuming that she'll try to, either she'll try to get the totem back from Mari, or she'll be like, you know what, I got my own totem. We beat this guy, maybe I'll take his totem, and then she'll have two abilities in one, which they'll be, based on what they did with the fire, I would love to see that if they mix the fire and the water, and she could like have them actually combined, but not just like burst into steam all the time. That would be really cool. So not sure how to play out. I personally, I don't trust her sister because of everything from the first season. So that's kind of where I'm seeing it going, is that she's going to eventually betray them once they get the water totem. It's like, alright, I'll help you beat this person because they're just going to be an issue for us. Beat them. Even if their totem gets destroyed, she still at least has a totem that she can use to fight Mari to get the family totem back for herself. And I feel like that's where it's headed, but maybe she'll turn a new leaf. I highly doubt it, because she was a crazy villain that blamed Mari for every wrong thing as if it was all her fault. And it's like crazy warlord guy. That's why she took off with her sister and stuff. But she just she was blaming like all the wrong people. She should have been going after that guy for killing her father and like everyone in the village. But instead she went after her sister because she had the totem. Just like this guy who's not going to be going after her. So we'll see how it plays out. I don't really trust her sister, but I don't know what you guys thought about this episode, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And of course, you already know I don't trust her, but I already know what your thoughts are on Mari's sister and what the heck's going to happen with that. Like, is she going to end up being trustworthy, or are they going to do the typical thing where she's helping them now, and once they defeat the big villain, she'll take over. It might not be in this actual season. It might not be until like season 3. But do you think they'll beat the main guy, and then she'll probably take off and be like, "I'll come back to fight you later," which basically means season 3, or will she actually be a hero who just decides, "I'll stay as a hero"? So, want to know your predictions on that and what you thought about this short episode in general. So please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.